Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it's time for Saturday with Stacey, YouTube number 223, and I have been waiting a really long time to do this YouTube. And in fact, I've been waiting since May to do this YouTube. This is the Stamperia YouTube, and it is filled with beautiful products and beautiful samples and techniques that are easy peasy. I promise you, this is a wahoo kachoo YouTube because everybody will be successful with this. I promise. And I had to wait. I mean, we did the Stamperia event here in my store. They flew all the way from Italy. Monica flew all the way from Italy to do the Stamperia event here in the store. And we had it for 2 days and it was free to our customers. But I haven't been able to book it into a YouTube schedule, and then life happened, and so this is my first opportunity to get to it, so I can't wait to show you. The good thing is that because I had to wait for it, we've been able to get in Stamperia paper in smaller sizes so that I can ship it to you. That's a wonderful thing. I'm very excited about that. The good news is we've also got in their latest products that wouldn't have been available had I done it back in May. So Stamperia is this, I don't want to say they're a mixed media. I saw them in Germany my first year when I went to Creative World, and I was walking down the halls and I literally stopped in my tracks and swooned when I saw their booth. When you go to a trade show, some booths are functional, some booths are more generic, and then some booths knock your socks off, and the Stamperia booth just made my heart happy. But when I went in to try and explain to them that I want to order this and then have them ship it to the United States, they didn't speak much English and I didn't speak much Italian. So it took a little while for the translation to go through, but then we started getting in their beautiful products. And there's definitely a look and feel to them. And we're going to step outside our box just a little bit today. We are going to step outside our box, but not in a difficult way, in a way that you can do. But I have some unusual things that you might not have seen before, or maybe you've seen them and had no clue how to use them. And that's what I'm going to show you today. A little bit of a caveat is that the Stamperia product, we have what we have online. I don't anticipate getting any more of what we have online back in stock. We'll have to wait for their next release, and when their next release comes out, then we'll have the new product again. So I've been hoarding this product since May. Nobody's been allowed to touch it. They've not been allowed to use it. In fact, I had it covered with tablecloths. It's like, if it was out of sight, out of mind, because the SMS girls wanted it desperately. It's like, nope, not until we get ready to do the YouTube. So I finally got to take the tablecloths off and we got the product out, and it's just as pretty as I remember it. Now I have Winner Chicken Dinner from the last YouTube, which was 222. And we did the Do Crafts, the beautiful new Do Crafts papers, and it's just, you're going to win a lovely selection of that Do Crafts product. Congratulations to you. Who is it that we're going to wahoo kachoo with? Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, that was the Simply Defined release as well. That was Simply Defined, the Asian collection. It was, I loved it with my peacock. I love my peacock. All right, so you're going to win a selection of the Do Crafts papers. I think there's 4, so you'll get all 4 packs. Congratulations to the 2 of you. Michaela, no, that's not right. Michaela. That sounds good, Michaela. Michaela Murray. I'm so sorry, Michaela, but you're going to get all 4 packs of the Do Craft beautiful new foil paper. You're going to get all of it. Congratulations, Michaela. Yes, Michaela. I'm going with that. Michaela Murray. But you have a friend. Who else is your friend? Oh, hello. This is easy. Mary Shaw. Congratulations, Mary Shaw. You also are going to win all 4 packs of that new Do Craft paper that we had last week in YouTube number 222. How do you claim your prize? Easy peasy. Go to scrapbookingmadesimple.com. look for the link that says Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. Click it, send us an email. In the subject line, put winner from YouTube number 222. YouTube winner from number 222. That's for Michaela and Mary. And send us your email, we'll confirm it, and then we'll get your prizes on off to you. I've also got good news. Kayla has all 100 prizes downstairs, and she'll be starting to ship the anniversary sale winners because she does that from downstairs, not in the warehouse. We can't take the shipper's time to do it. We have to do it downstairs in the retail store. And all dies from the shop that did not hop have arrived. So all Tonic dies are here, all Do Craft dies are here, all Sizzix dies are here, and all Kaiser Craft dies are here. We have already unpacked the Kaiser Craft dies. We are unpacking the Tonic Studios dies, and then we will start unpacking the Do Crafts dies. Once they are all unpacked and inventoried, I will let you know that we are going to start. But we're months before we were last year. I'm like, my heart is full and happy. All dies are here. Now remember, inventory is manual, so there may be a couple odds and ends where the numbers were slightly off, but we're going to do our best to make sure every single order fulfills just like it's supposed to. Stay tuned for that. I will announce once we have finished unpacking. We're doing the Tonic now, then we have the Do Craft to do, and once we're all done unpacking and inventorying and counting, I'll let you know that we're going to be starting. So wahoo kachoo, everything has, all dies have arrived. Yay! Okay, so now for today we're going to get started, and again, we're going to step outside our box just a little. Stay with me because I'm going to show you easy peasy, and then I'm going to show you easy peasy, but maybe you didn't think it was as easy as you thought, or you've seen it out there but had no idea what to do with it. Well, that's what this YouTube is for. It's all about Stamperia from Italy, and I think you're going to love it. All right, we're going to get started, and down we go. Bye. Okay, now I'm going to do my best to zoom on in as best as possible and tilt down, and no, wrong way, zoom and tilt down. And I think that's pretty good. What do you guys think? Okay, downstairs we have the make and take going on right now if you're watching this on Saturday, which would be the first day of this YouTube that it releases. And what they are making is a beautiful magnet. Look at, isn't that so cute? It's on a piece of ceramic, a plaque. Wait till you see what we use. Okay, so maybe some of you have already guessed. Anybody got an idea of what this piece is? We went to the dollar store. Look at how cute. Is that just darling? Magnet. These are fun, easy, inexpensive gifts. And wait till you see the samples. So, what did we use to make these? I'm going to put these right over here. What did we use to make these? Well, to begin with, we used something called rice paper. And I've got a sheet of it right here. Rice paper. It's kind of like a tissue paper or a napkin, but it's more fibrous. Do you see the fibers running through it? More fibrous. And the printing on it is absolutely gorgeous. And I have got lots of different sheets. This is all from Stamperia, all of it. And gosh, maybe we have 50 different sheets. We have Christmas, we have vintage, we have background papers, and it's all rice paper, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's about $2 a sheet. Now, you're gonna find that Scrapbooking Made Simple is like the lowest price anywhere for this paper. I think that a lot of retailers are charging upwards of $3 a piece. We do them for $2 every day, and then because it's on a YouTube Yummy, it's on sale as well. So it's very affordable. You can see that with the big rounds, you get 6 per sheet. And with perhaps a multi, you get some small rounds, some big ovals. There's just lots of different sheets to play with. But what do you do with them? And oh, and I love this sheet. This one's got just a little bit of everything. It's got hearts, and it's got squares, and it's got circles, and it's got ovals and rectangles. It's just a beautiful sheet. What do you do with this? Well, this is how we made these. And again, I'm going to start super easy, and then I'm going to stay super easy. It's not going to get too difficult, but I am going to change up the technique. So first thing I want to do is the tendency for some people is to want to cut. And you can cut these out, absolutely, if you are going to apply them onto a surface like the plaques. So I've cut out my round. Now I'm going to get really good, and I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to really get really close. Now I don't have to be exact, not by any stretch of the imagination. If there's a little white, no big deal. Why? Because it's rice paper, and rice paper tends to just disappear. Poof. So see, I'm going to leave a little bit of white just so you can see. So I've cut out a piece. Easy peasy. Now, Stamperia makes something called a plaque. And it's not porcelain, but it is ceramic. And again, they're inexpensive. They're under $3. They have large ones. So here's the large rectangle versus the two smaller rectangles. Here's the large round versus two smaller rounds, and they're under $3 each. So the same price. If you wanted the large round or the two smaller rounds, they're both the same price. And I know on sale I believe they're under $3 each. So I pull it out. And you'll see it fits right on top. Right on top. And you'll notice I didn't get all the way near. You don't have to. Rice paper is extremely, extremely forgiving. So I'm going to cut one more. Maybe I'll do this one because I like the butterfly. Maybe I'll save that one. Okay, so I'm going to cut another circle. Just cut right around it. And again, doesn't have to be right on the line. Be forgiving to yourself. The rice paper's forgiving to you, so you be forgiving to you. And poof. Okay, so now I've got two to play with. Woohoo! Very excited. So I'm going to take my plaque, and what am I going to do with it? I'm going to paint it. Stamperia absolutely has their own paint. Yes, they do. And do we have it? Yes, we do. Is it affordable? Yes, it is. It's $3.50 a bottle, less 20%. Do you have to use this paint? No, you don't. Can you go and buy, is it folk art or whatever paint is in the craft store for 99 cents? Yes, you can. Is this a better quality of paint? Yes, it is. If all you're going to do is paint tiles with it, do you need a better quality of paint? No. So because the rice paper is so unique to them, and the paint you can get anywhere, I would rather, if you're on a budget, spend the money on the rice paper and go pick this up when it's on sale for 99 cents or 79 cents. And there are a million different colors of the paint. And again, what it's apple or folk art, they're all good. It will all work. It doesn't have to be the Stamperia. If you are going to get into a little bit more of the painting and more mixed media look, then this is a lovely paint to have. And yes, it is reasonably priced. But heck, if this is all you're going to do, or you may already have folk art at home, who knows? So I'm going to take a little bit and I'm going to put it right down on my craft mat. Now, it's purple. Do I want it to stay that color? It depends. If I want to lighten it up, let's say you have 15 colors of something like this already at home, and you don't want to go out and buy any more. Go buy a white, and you can lighten up your colors. Just go buy a white, and then all of a sudden, your purple will go into a nice little lavender. You can lighten your colors with the white. So you don't have to have a million colors of paint. Of course, if you're getting it on sale at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or Joann's or AC Moore or any of the big box stores, and they're on sale for 79 cents, well, you can have a little bit more of a heyday with it. And I'm just going to paint my tile. Now this dries relatively quickly. And I do mean quickly. It's not going to take a half an hour or 30, well, half an hour and 30 minutes. Those are the same thing. It's going to take just a few minutes for it to dry based on how thick you put it on. And you don't have to be beautiful about how you put it on. You just want to really get it on there. So, covered my whole tile. It's already starting to dry. Looks pretty good. So you can see where it's already starting to dry. So it does dry very quickly. Is it water soluble? You bet. Of course, where my finger was, there isn't any paint. Is there any paint on this side? You bet it's water soluble. So to clean up your paintbrush, just dip it in your little water and you're good to go. To clean up your craft mat, baby wipe. Oh, I hate to waste this paint. Baby wipe and you're good to go. So use less than I did. Now, I have my rice paper that I have cut out. And I'm just going to want to take that and I'm going to want to put just a little bit of water kind of on the edges. Just kind of on the edges. Just get it a little bit wet. It's eventually going to get all wet, so if it gets all wet, that's okay too. It's not a problem. Now, because of those fibers, it's not tearing apart. That's what makes it different than perhaps a napkin or something along that lines. It's got those fibers in there holding it together. My plaque is dry. I told you it wouldn't take long at all. And then I'm going to use their glue. This is kind of like a Mod Podge, kind of like a an all-purpose glue. It's got properties from both that allow this to go down just beautifully, absolutely beautifully. So I can take this and just put it right on my craft mat. Is it water soluble? Yes, it is. That means, again, I can just dip my paintbrush right into my water, get in there, and I'm just going to brush it straight on. So it is kind of like a Mod Podge. If you have Mod Podge and you want to use your Mod Podge, can you? Sure you can. If you don't have Mod Podge and you want a little bit nicer glue, yes, we have it for sale. If you've got a 40% off coupon at Michael's and you want to go buy Mod Podge, sure, go right ahead. So I've got a little bit of glue going on. You can see the gloss on there. And I'm just going to lay my image right on top. And press it down. Now it's sticking to the glue. Glue is holding it down. I've got my edges in purple. And then to finish it, all I have to do is add a little bit more glue. And go right over the entire thing. Just like you were Mod Podging if you were a kid. And just give it a beautiful final coat. And what's going to happen is that little white paper that I left on the outside of it, where I didn't necessarily cut it really close, it's going to disappear. It's just going to blend on in, because that's what rice paper does. Nice little final coat. And then you're going to let it dry. So when this dries, it'll dry with a clear coat over it. Now, if you want to go back and add a little more purple around your edges, maybe even a darker purple if you wanted just a little bit more, you just put a little purple onto your craft mat. This time I'm going to try and be sparing. Rinse out my brush. Dab it off, pick up a little purple. And then if I wanted to, I could come back in and just go right over it again. If I just wanted to darken it up a little bit. It's really up to you. It's very simple to do. But what do you do with these? Well, we've made cards, we've made boxes, we've made magnets. And in just a matter of a few minutes, you've made a beautiful tile plaque. And if you were to put something around this a little bit larger, it's big enough to be a coaster. And if you seal it, it should be just fine. Seal it with the glue and it should be just fine. They are so much fun. All right, I'm gonna put that one aside and let that one dry. And I think, do I have a small one? I think I'm gonna grab this one. And I'm gonna cut that out. Now this one's got a scallopy edge to it, but I'm not gonna worry about that scallopy edge so much. Wipe off my table. And cut this one on out. Okay, there we go. So I'm not going to so much worry about that scallopy edge trying to get in there and do each scallop. I'm just going to cut my circle around it. And my cutting isn't even all that beautiful. But it's so pretty. Now let's take one of the small ones real quick. This time I'm going to use a little bit of yellow. And again, it doesn't matter whose paint you use. Do we have the Stamperia? Do you need the Stamperia? No. I would rather have you buy rice paper because that's not so easy to get. Dip my brush right into it and paint it down. Quick, easy. Water soluble, so you don't have to worry about it making a mess. Dries almost instantaneous. I mean, it's really fast. And you don't have to be beautiful in your painting because of course you're going to cover it up with your rice paper. So there. And it's almost dry. Pretty good, huh? Pretty fast. If you need quick gifts, this is an easy peasy way to go. All right, then I'm gonna wash out my brush. So I'm not using 12 different brushes. I'm still using the same brush I started with. Gonna get my little rice paper medallion, wet. And what that does is it helps it lay down a little bit easier. Gonna grab a little bit of my glue. Put it right on down. Pick up my glue. Give a nice brush. Quick and easy. Grab my rice paper. And put it down. Super easy. Now I can take a little bit more of my glue and I want to seal it up. I've got a little more glue. I might add a little water to that just to thin it a little bit. And just go over the whole thing. And while I'm doing this one, my first one is almost dry. Now, what if you wanted to add a little something something to this? What if you wanted to just add a little something something? Well, while your glue is still wet, you can take a little bit of your glitter or your mica or your flakes, your frantage, and you can glitter some of it. You can just drop your little glitter right on top of it. So if you've got mica flakes or glitters or gilding flakes and you want to use them, now I've added a little bit of glitter to it. And I'm going to let it dry because it's already glue. You don't have to put anything more on it. And again, if you have the need and you want to add a little bit more on the outside of it, just a little bit down. Oh, good. I didn't do too much. Wash out my brush. It's got the glue in it, but it's all okay with water. Wipe it off. Pick up my yellow. And go right around. What if I didn't want to do yellow? Oh, what if I wanted to do the green? Oh, let's put a little green down there. And instead, so I wanted the yellow as my base for the top part. That way when I put my rice paper over the top, the green wasn't too dark. If I did this all in green and then put the yellow over the top, it may be too dark and you may not be able to see the beautiful green details of the leaves because it would just absorb into the green. But what if I wanted to add the green on the outside now? All you gotta do is go over it. What if you had Tonic Studios mousse? You could do the outsides with Tonic Studios mousse. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of options. So I could just go all the way around and paint green and have my outside green and my inside yellow. It's really up to you. But how did we make it a magnet? Okay. I know this is crazy. It's sticking to me. I know this is crazy. But we went to the dollar store. When I say we, I mean Claire. SMS girl Claire ran to the dollar store because I knew what I wanted. I just didn't know where to get them, whether it be Walmart or I bet AC Moore or Hobby Lobby. I bet they have them too. But we found them at the dollar store. These are the tops to canning jars. The top to a canning jar, the little piece that fits in that screws down, this is the top of it. And we found them at the Dollar Tree, or Big Lots, one of the two, for $1.50, and you got 12 of them. 12. all I did was put that in there. But how did I put it down? Well, Stacey tape will hold it. Really, Stacey tape will hold them. So I put a piece of tape here and a piece of tape here. Oh, there goes the fire truck. And a piece of tape here. So what is Stacey tape? Stacey tape is a double-sided adhesive tape that holds just about everything from fabric and metal and beads and glitter and acetate and paper, and it really just holds just about everything. It's a little bit longer, a little bit stronger, and a little bit less money than your score tape. So there's my sticky. All I have to do is put that on. Give it a really good push. And you are good to go. Look at it, isn't that cute? But it's still not a magnet. I know. Now this one has dried. Look at how beautiful it is when it's all dry. The color comes back up. The white sheen is gone from the glue. Look at how gorgeous is that. Put it that way. How about the right way? Yes. How beautiful is that? So it's still not a magnet yet. All right. Magnet. Do crafts. An entire roll. Where did I put an entire roll for like $3.50 from Do Crafts. It's their Stick It brand. Take your scissors, cut you off a piece. It is already self-adhesive. Turn your jar over. I would use 2 or 3 pieces. Press it down. And you've now made a magnet. They're lovely, they're so pretty, and they're so easy. The rice paper makes them easy. The paint is easy to use. The glue, simple to use. Very little water, 1 paintbrush. But now, and look at the glitter stays right on because you put it right on top of the glue. But now you're saying, well, Stacey, what if I don't want to make magnets? Then what do I do with this stuff? Okay, let's move on because I want to show you what else can be done with this besides our cute little magnets, which were darling for a make and take. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna pull, this one. So this is part of another sheet of decoupage or rice paper, only this time I'm gonna do it a little different. I was cutting it before. This time I'm gonna use it on a piece of paper because I wanna use it for a card. So I need to treat the rice paper a little bit different. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I'm gonna take a little bit of water and I'm gonna kind of go around the outside of the rice paper in the oval. I'm gonna go around it with a little bit of water. Get it wet. So now it will dry. If I decided not to use it, it would just dry without any problem and you could use it again. But why did I do it with water? Why didn't I just cut it out? Well, because we're going to use it on paper and not something like this where it's rounded and that edge is going to get hidden, because we're going to use it on something flat. I need to now use those fibers that are in the paper. All those fibers are there for a reason. And instead of cutting, I need to tear, and I need to kind of pull. Pull. And it doesn't have to be exact, and it doesn't have to be straight. You just want to pull it apart. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling those fibers away from each other. Pulling the fibers that make up the rice paper away from each other. Why am I doing that? Well, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to pull. And if you need to get it a little wet again, because it started to dry while you were talking like me, just get it wet again. It's okay. Not going to hurt it. And I'm just going to pull. So if it's a little dry, just add a little bit more water. Ooh, and we cut up top here, so it's going to be a little tough to pull. But I'll do my best. Maybe that will be good if I don't pull, so you can see the straight edge. So this is what I've got. All those little fibers coming out, any of them that are really long. You've got a long one, and let me tell you, you see this long fiber? If I'm ever on YouTube and you see a hair coming out my chin that length, do me the favor and tell me. Oh my gosh. Girl code, girl and guy code, you would tell a friend, right? And I'm a friend. So I'm just gonna trim off some of the really long fibers. And I have a straight edge against here. So you're gonna see what happens when that happens. Now I'm gonna take a piece of paper, and I just got a piece of cardstock. And depending upon how big the card is I'm making or what it is I'm doing, you know, maybe I'll just cut a piece. So I've got a piece of paper that's big enough. Now I'm going to take my paint again. That was a slightly wonky cut. It's a little better. I'm going to take my paint again, and I'm just going to lightly paint this just to give a background color. If you don't want to paint it, that's okay. If you want to distress it, the paint tends to work better because of the thickness of it, and as opposed to just inking it. And I'm just gonna super quick, super fast, super easy. Just give a nice all over coat. And it's pretty much dry. I just gave a nice all over coat. It isn't perfect and it isn't solid everywhere. I've got some places that have a little white peeking through. I have other places that don't have any white peeking through. Clean up my little mess right there, right off my craft mat. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. And you notice my craft mat's not slipping every time I use it. That's because this is my craft mat. This is a Simply Refined craft mat. And first on the market ever to have a non-stick on the top and a non-slip on the bottom. And I think yes, we may still be the only one, although I know others caught wind of it and said, oh, that's a pretty clever idea. But here's the original. Now I've got my rice paper, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to take just a little bit of water and just get it wet just around the edges. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. And I'm going to take a little bit put a little layer of glue down. You don't have to put a ton, because remember, you're going to go over the top of it. So you just want enough glue to be able to lay it down. Pick it up. And lay it down. Now you may give it a minute to dry. It's up to you. But if you're kind of wanting to get it done, which is kind of like me, a little more glue. So I guess what makes this glue a little different than Mod Podge is the water, the amount of water in it. If you have too much water in your glue or in your paint, your paper is going to warp. You can see that this paper isn't warping. Now, I think with the paint that you're going to find out at the market, that's 97 cents or $1 or whatever it is, I think you're probably going to find that if you use it sparingly, it's not going to warp. About the glue, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm just going to take my glue and I'm going to go right back over the top. I'm just going to give it all a coat. Now, because everything's water soluble, this is the time where if I wanted to take a little more of my yellow and blend it on in, it's going to blend with the glue. You're going to be just fine. I could take oh, that's the yellow. I meant the cream. Okay, well, we're going to do a little bit of yellow now. Surprise! Okay, well, let's just blend some of that yellow in with it then. Give it kind of a distressed look. Maybe take that and blend it with a little bit of the cream. And because the water content is not high, it's not warping my paper. And I'm even going right over the top a little bit of my rice paper. So really, what you're doing without even totally realizing it is you are doing mixed media. Now when this dries, it'll dry beautiful. A little dimension because I added a little bit of the yellow to it by surprise. Oops. But it's a happy accident. It looks really pretty. Now I've got a little bit of shabby chic going on. And it's just on paper. So what have we used so far? We used a piece of cardstock that you already own. We used a piece of rice paper that cost under $2, and you get, gosh, on this one you probably get 8 or 10 different elements to use. I've been cutting it up, so 8 or 10 different elements to use. We used some paint that you may already have in your stash, and we used the Stamperia glue. And it looks pretty great. Now you can decide what to do with it. Do you want to trim it out? Do you want to mat it? I don't know if I have anything to mat it on. Once it's all dry, do you want to mat it? What do you want to do with it? Because now you've got the front of your card, or you've got an embellishment for your scrapbook, or if you are into mixed media and altered art, well, this is a happy day for you because this is lovely stuff. Put that on the card front. Still a little wet, but put it on your card front and put your sentiment inside. Put a little bow down on it and you're good to go. And you made it all by hand. You started with a white piece of paper and some rice paper. And they're beautiful. They're just lovely. and it's flawless. It just looks flawless, and it was easy. You saw, I accidentally pulled the yellow instead of the cream. There is no accidents. It's not that you have to throw it away. Don't, just make it work because it all works together. It's meant to work together, and it's meant to give you an opportunity to play in perhaps a medium that you're not so sure about at a price that you can totally afford. They're beautiful. You've got your card base here. You've got your magnet here. We even put this on a card. I'll wait to see what else we've done with it. This is easy peasy. But this is using things that are pre-shaped for you. What if I wanted to use something that was not pre-shaped? And you're like, huh? Okay. Stamperia makes the most beautiful solid sheets of rice paper. But when you see this, you're like, oh my gosh, what do I even do with that? Same price, under $2. This is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. But if you see it, well, I don't know that you're gonna see it in your everyday craft store. And again, see all the fibers in the back? They're there for a reason. But you look at it and you say, I have no clue what to do with something like this. This is beyond what I'm capable of. Oh, but it's not. It is so not. So I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna cut another piece of paper. And I know you guys would use your trimmers, but I might trim this out later. And I'm going to look right on a piece. I'm gonna look right here. And I'm going to go maybe a little bit bigger than what I need. So I'm gonna take my paintbrush again, put it in the water, and I'm gonna kind of draw around it, get it wet. Maybe a little bit bigger than I needed, but that's okay. Get it wet. All four sides. Because what am I going to do? I'm just going to pull and tear and pull it apart so those fibers start to show, because those fibers are what kind of disappear. Pull, pull, pull. Now you don't have to worry about the rest of it, that it's wet. It's when it dries, it just goes back to being dry. Doesn't matter if you get it wet, more wet than you were supposed to. But I don't want those straight edges, so I'm going to pull those off too. Pull, pull, pull. Remember back in the day when we first started scrapbooking and everything was torn paper, because that's really all the embellishment we could do was tearing paper and giving it a decorative edge, kind of a distressed edge. Pull, pull, pull. Now I'm going to set that. This is still completely all usable. I'm going to set that to the side. Remember, I've got some of those long stragglers that I'm going to kind of snip off. And if you happen to ever see me on YouTube with one of these long stragglers, you're going to email me and you're going to say, Stacey, because we're friends, I'm going to let you know. And I'm going to appreciate you. Now, it's up to me. Do I want to paint my paper? Do I just want to paint the edges of my paper? What do I want to do? It's up to me. I'm going to take that cream again. Yeah, I'm going to take the cream again. Boy, I did not such a great job cutting, but that's okay. And I'm just going to paint down my edges. Just paint my edges. You don't have to paint your edges. You could use distress ink. You could use an ink to ink your edges, or gelatos. You could absolutely gelato your paper. Why not? The paint's a little bit nicer, goes down a little bit easier. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my glue. Doesn't have to be a lot, because remember, you're going to go over the top of it again. I just need to get it down there so that I've got something for my rice paper to stick to. And I'm going to clean that up because I don't want it all the way on the back side of everything. Easy peasy. And it's nice that my mat isn't going everywhere. Let's take my glue. And let's just get it down so that then I can lay my paper right over the top. A little bit of water. I can see how this is way over the edge. I can take that and get that wet. And then just kind of trim it on down. And then take my glue. Might add a little bit of water just to thin that up a little bit. Trim that down just a little bit. And glue right over the top. And finish it off. And when it dries, it's going to dry beautifully flat, and it'll be sealed. And then it's up to you what you want to do with it. What makes your heart happy? Do you want to use it for a card? Do you want to mat it? Do you want to go back and trim it out so that it's actually a rectangle? You can. Once it's dry, you can go back and do all of those things. Do you want another piece of decoupage over the top of it? What if I wanted this bird? What if I really wanted that bird to be part of it? Can I do that? Sure. I'm going to cut him out. I'm going to kind of get a little closer so I have a little less to tear. So can I layer decoupage on top of decoupage? Oh, you bet you can. Or rice paper on top of rice paper. It's going to be a little big birdie. But then I'm going to get him wet like we've been doing. Get him wet. tear his little edges. Kind of pull, pull, pull. Just so it's not that rough, hard edge. Those little fibers are what helps it kind of just disappear into itself. See, that's not pulling so easy for me. So I'm going to add a little more water. Still working with just one paintbrush. Maybe I'm going to snip him. That fiber is good and tight. There we go. Oh, dry it a little bit on that side. Add a little more water in. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right. There he is. Now add a little bit of glue. I'm going to get him a little wet. Add a little bit of my glue. Where do we want him? Maybe right there. And I'm going to snip his wing off so I don't have his full wing. That's okay. I think I'm going to put him right there in that corner. Add a little bit of glue. Get him down. Add a little more glue. And because you tore, it is very hard to see where one stops and one starts. And now we've got our bird on there. It's really simple. You want to add a little distressing to the outside, you can add a little bit more of your paint. It really opens up the opportunity to be creative and to play with things that you might not have thought you could, but you can. If I can do it, you can do it. I can't stress enough, I am not that talented. I am a technique junkie. I am that. I will agree to that. I love technique. No question about it. But I'm not that talented to be able to sit there and figure all of these things. I need things that are achievable, that I can do. And to me, this is achievable. I've made a beautiful card front. Gosh, I wish I had a prettier backing for it. But I don't. So red it's gonna be. I've made the most beautiful card front. It's done. All I have to do is mat it. That's it. Just mat it. That's all I've got to do, and put it on my card base. But you made something that you can't go into the store and buy a piece of paper, by a manufacturer that everybody else has, and make a card. This is different. This is taking something and manipulating it to what you like, to what you want to see, by adding that bird on the top. It's doing what makes your heart happy, as opposed to, I mean, I have 2,000 sheets of paper, I think, in my store, including cardstock, and there's beautiful sheets of cardstock, but not one of them looks like this. These are gorgeous, and they're easy, and they're affordable. They're absolutely affordable. And I think that's what makes my heart happiest, is it gives you the chance to step out and try something new without it costing a fortune. Because we all are on a crafty budget. Even when I buy for the store, I can only spend so much money. I've only got so much money to bring in new products for the store. So I want to find things that are going to give you an opportunity to be successful, make beautiful products, beautiful projects and cards and layouts and mixed media, and give you serious bang for your buck. I could do probably at least three more cards out of this. So 4 cards total out of one sheet with a little bit of craft paint and a little bit of glue. It is totally achievable and so pretty. So we did very simple. We just attached it right to one of the ceramic bases, which I love. And wait till you see the samples. And we made magnets out of it, which is easy. Using from the dollar store, remember I used the lids for your canning jars, $1.50 for 12. And some magnet tape from Do Crafts for $3.50 or $3.75 or something like that. Again, really affordable. I was able to drizzle glitter on it. I took this one. I need to mat it down. Took this one and made a beautiful card front, even though I made a mistake. Same here. So this just had the shape that you can cut out. This one here had from the solid piece of paper, the designed paper, where you can choose what element you want to use from that paper for that card front. Stamperia makes pretty, pretty things. And they do it in a way that allows you to enjoy it because you can afford it. It makes my heart happy to do business with them. It really, truly does. All right, so I'm going to show you just quickly some of the, like I said, the plaques. The plaques are not easy to come by. I don't know that there's anybody else in the United States that currently sells the plaques. And the plaques are made to go with their rice paper. Sheets like this. These are meant to go with the plaques because they are scaled perfectly to go with them. It's meant to work together. You don't have to because you saw I didn't. I took it and used it just on its own. But they are scaled to go with the plaques. So here we have one that's all rectangles, which would go with the rectangle plaque, meant to fit right there. So there's 6 different plaques. There's oval, rectangle, and round, and then they have the smaller, so you can get either the large or you can get 2 small rounds, 2 small rectangles, or 2 small ovals. So there's 6 different plaques in total. We do have the paints. However, if you are struggling to say, oh, I love the rice paper, but I like the paint, buy the rice paper first, because when we're out of it, we're out of it. The paint you can get domestically here. You can. And while I love to sell it to you, if you already own it, I don't want you to buy it again. Use what you've got. Or buy the plaques, because you can't get the plaques either. Or buy the roll of magnet, because this is the cheapest roll of magnet I have found anywhere. Absolutely anywhere. So, and you get 3 meters, which is about maybe 10 feet, a little over 10 feet. So it goes a long way for your $3.75 or whatever it is. But now let's talk about the samples, because the samples are what is beautiful. Now Yvette was just playing with these. She didn't get a chance to finish them. But here she used the mousse, the tonic mousse, and did a plaque with it and drizzled it with glitter. This is Yvette just playing and not having enough time to finish. You've got the teacups. How beautiful is this? So this is her just playing. But then I told you we made cards out of them. Then they can take it off. You can give them the magnet to put on the back of it, and they can make it a magnet after they've opened the card and loved the card. Then they take this right off and make it a magnet. What a lovely gift. Isn't that a beautiful card? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She used the must-haves top note. She didn't paint the whole thing. She left this white. That is the original color of the plaque. So she went on the outside and on the inside, and then she layered and she added some pearls. How pretty is that? Okay. If you're not sitting down, sit down. How beautiful is that? She took a sheet like I just used, the all-over sheet, to do this one. She took a full sheet and she cut here and got that down, and then she took a flower from the all-over sheet and plopped it right down in the middle. It's on the largest plaque. When somebody is done loving the card, if you don't ask for it back, because I might have to ask for this card back if I were to give it away, they can then make a magnet out of it. Just pull it right off the card and make a magnet by adding the magnet tape to the back. And you can give them the magnet tape right in the card and say, before you throw the card away, pull off the plaque and make a magnet out of it to always remind you of me. Is that drop dead gorgeous? Oh my gosh. Okay, then she took an all-over sheet and she put down the background. I smushed it, I'm sorry, Yvette. She put down the background first, and then she fussy cut the dragonfly and put the dragonfly on so it is dimensional. That's just from one sheet of $2 rice paper. Same sheet. She made it. You can make it. Is that gorgeous? Okay, so remember this one, right? Here she just did a basic card using the paper. She threw down some fragments from Frantage because when it was gluey, when she put the top coat of glue, you can throw those fragments down and they'll stick. Add another little layer of glue. How stunning is that? And we did this. You and I, we did this. Now she trimmed hers all the way out. And like I said, you could take this one and we could get rid of our rough edges. And we could trim it all the way out. You would use a trimmer so it's a little bit nicer cut. That's all she did, and then she matted it. We did that. You saw how easy it was. Water, rice paper, glue, paper. This one is absolutely stunning. But then, just like we did the magnet, because that makes a super cute gift, the large circle on top of your jar that you fill with your preserves, or you layer it with your hot cocoa mix, or look at how cute. Fits right on top. We just took Stacey tape and taped it all the way down, right on top of a jar. Put some ribbon around it, and now it's ready to fill up with whatever you want as your Christmas gift or your, your teacher gift or your thank you gift or your PTA gifts or to sell at the church social. Fill it up with whatever makes your heart happy. Look at, isn't that beautiful? Done with the large. Done with this size, the first one we did. Fits right on top. And then I have this one. Same thing, fits right on top. So pretty. And it's ready to fill up with whatever you want. Now the small one does fit on a small jar, so if you want to get yourself a small canning jar and use a smaller one, absolutely. But we're not done with the samples yet either. Then we have them on boxes. These are the inexpensive mache boxes you get at Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby or AC Moore or wherever it is that you can get your little small mache boxes. Right on top. Just a little bit of paint. They stenciled, put the medallion right on top. A lovely little gift. Then we have a slightly bigger box. And this is using, so we used the paint to paint all over it. Just took the paint, painted all over it, took a stencil, went in there with some damask stencil, and then we tore up different pieces of the rice paper and did the exact same thing I just showed you how to do. Exactly the same. And I know these boxes are at Michael's and all of your, oh, we taped ours down so that I can't open it, but that's okay. And there's your top with your little plaque. Same thing, exactly the way I did mine. You can do this. Then, how about a cute little wooden tag? All it is a sheet, that's all it is a sheet of the rice paper. All it is distressed on the sides. Few little picks at the top, little flowers and berries. Stamp. That's all it is. So if this is part of a $2 sheet of paper, you know that you can get, depending on the size of your tag, you might be able to get 2 of them. Get a slightly smaller tag. And if not, it's going to run you under $2. Then we have a larger box. Same thing. This one, no, they kept this one open. Inexpensive mache. Just painted over the outside. Got a little watercolory looking. Went in with watercolor. You could do this all with gelatos. Oh my gosh. And then this is rice paper. That's what it is. Rice paper to make this box. And you can see there's no right, there's no wrong. It's not perfect. It's not meant to be, but it is so stunning. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And it is no different than what we did here, only instead of doing it on paper, you're doing it on a mache box. Same technique, exactly the same. Then we get into a wooden box. Absolutely gorgeous. All done. We have one of the boxes that we made for the Make and Take when Stamperia was here. And this is the same paper. 2 different ways of using it. Here it is as a card. Here it is as a project. This is what we made here at the store. The girls got to make it when Monica flew in from Italy. But you can see it's the same paper. Identical. Beautiful. Then we have kind of a mixed media altered art piece where we've got a plaque going on. My heart is happy. Very clever. My heart is happy. A little more altered, a little more mixed media. Again, done with the rice paper and some paint. A little more adventurous, yes, I will agree. Again, maybe a little more adventurous, but the clocks are rice paper. The finish, little crackle paint. A little more adventurous, but start small. Start small and build up. And I think that once you start to play, you'll find that it just takes over, because now you've unleashed your inner, ooh. How beautiful is this? Rice paper. Wooden box. And the last one I'm going to show you is, well, it is ambitious, no question about it. But it's all doable with Stamperia product. Oh my gosh. So from grungy and mixed media all the way to pretty and happy birthday. All right, so I'm going to tilt on up, and I'm going to say, I know I'm challenging you a little bit. I know it. I get it. I know. You're like, oh, Stacey, I'm not sure. I know. I was scared too. I was like, do I do this? Do I not do this? But my heart just said, this is the right company with the right product, and they made it so accessible, not only for me, but for you, that I said, I'm gonna learn to do this. I'm gonna learn to do this, because I am not creative. I am techniquey, but I am not creative. So if you feel that way sometimes, you have to give yourself permission to be art. Anything you make is art. Every card you make is a piece of art. Every layout you make is a piece of art. Every magnet you make is a piece of art, and it's your art. And it's going to be beautiful. And whomever you give it to, whoever you share it with, is going to cherish it. And really, isn't that what this is all about? So, I'm glad I jumped off the ledge with Stamperia. Scared to death, but I'm glad I did, because ever since I did, it has been nothing but wonderful and beautiful. I hope you think the same. Where are you going to get all of this great product? Scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Yes, it's on a YouTube Yummy. Yes, if you have to choose between the paint and the rice paper, get the rice paper. Buy the paint at your local craft store. Go, they'll have it. And take your 40% off coupon and use it. Buy the rice paper and the glue. The glue is really lovely too. So, all right, it's me, Stacey, Scrapbooking Made Simple. I will see you next week, where I have a super special from Sizzix. David, our Mr. Big Shot man. I've got a super special for you next week. All right, you guys, I'll see you later. Bye.